take one from our stuff too, so we'll just take it.
Wow, you're gonna take Jen's.
Oh.
That's unbelievable.
She saved
I
him.
usually stick it right in here when I touch it. Thank you.
I wish I would go the stairs again. I feel for you, my friend.
Thank you.
I believe it's gonna be Jonathan
right?
and Joe Pawling.
Just getting down.
No, no,
Let's just start
have none of that.
It's just starting.
None of that.
Prove.
We're not.
So you don't
Hi,
have
this
you
is
guys-
John with Cedarwood.
Hi, John.
Hi, Lori.
Long time no talk.
I know, right?
Make it home okay?
Yeah, I just got in, so
Oh.
I'm outside with the dogs, so you don't hear screaming from the toddlers.
Okay. Are we 7?
No, 6:58. I guess we can get YouTube to come up.
Oh,
So we can see if we want.
Will somebody
Where
check?
is he?
I'm not sure where he is. Where are you, John? How far up are you?
Oh, I'm on the outskirts of Saratoga Springs,
Oh,
where I
okay.
live.
Okay.
So
Okay.
technically, Gansford, it's like a blurred line between that and Wilton.
Okay. We're live.
Hey, it's Joe.
Hi, Joe. We'll wait for the train. Oh, then I guess we will wait.
July 15th, 2024.
All right, welcome to the July 15th Village Board meeting. If you could please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a motion to approve the June 3rd, June 17th, and July 1st minutes?
I'll make that motion.
All second?
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so at our last meeting, we had tried to move forward with the building department fee changes. However, we didn't feel that we had enough information, so we tabled it. I was able to have the building department give us additional information regarding the fees. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to review it. Are there any questions regarding this? I do know that the two main questions was, were we asking for any permits that the state does not require? The answer to that is no. We have the permits that are required by the state. Another question was, how do we fall for pricing compared to nearby municipalities? Labella, who does our code enforcement and is our building inspector, said that they canvass all the communities within the Hudson Valley to compare to make sure that we fall within, you know, within a range. And so we are not on the higher end of things, so. I think those were the two main questions that were from last time. I don't know if there were any others.
No, of course.
Yeah, they provided their comments too,
Yeah.
and there
Right,
were a
right.
couple of
It was
reductions
good
in there as
detail.
well.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, comments.
It's
were good.
definitely,
Yeah, so we tried to show where, you know, some permits, there was a permit fee, and then the CO fee was separate. Where we tried to just combine it. It just, to me, was easier to have the one So that's just combining, not necessarily changing the cost, but just making it, simplifying
Mhm.
it, I should say. I know a few went down. Some others were just clarified, where we found that there was questions sometimes. I think there was also another point where, I forgot what it was, if it had to do with a generator or
Yeah,
something.
propane
Versus
yeah.
oil and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So there was some clarity put to some of the things
Mhm.
where we kept getting questions from applicants, so. Does everybody feel like they are ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so anybody have any other questions? I mean, I'm just rattling off the things that I can remember. Questions?
No, I know Chris put a lot of time into it, and
You can see it.
although, you know, in his other counterparts
Yeah.
within.
Right, I mean, that's one thing about having Labella as our building and code enforcement is it's not just a person sitting here in the village, they have a whole team behind them.
Right.
With all expertise, so that
Mhm.
whole team comes forward when we are looking at things like this,
Yeah.
So, can I entertain a motion then to approve if we don't have any other questions or
I'll make that
concerns?
motion.
And I'll second it.
So, no other discussion, so all in favor say aye.
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 All right, and then we have the planning board is requesting to act as lead agent for a lot line adjustment subdivision and zoning change for 140 and 146 of East Main Street.
Right, the village still has the ultimate decision on it.
Correct. This is
Correct?
just to go through the seeker process.
Okay.
Yep. It's just lead agency for
Mhm.
seeker. It still comes back to the village board
Okay.
for a final
Okay.
decision, at least on the zoning part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All right, I'm good.
you're good?
I'm
Anybody
good.
else have any other
I'm good.
questions
I'm good.
regarding that? All right, so can I get a motion to approve the planning board being lead agent on this project?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Just before we go into other reports, I just wanted to be able to address late Friday, with all of this heat, there seems to be a tremendous overuse of our water supply, lack of rain. So our storage tank, which we normally keep at 30 feet, was down to 22.4 feet. And the emergency line is 20 feet, and the way we were trending, we had a lot of concerns, so we ended up having to pull the trigger on starting up an emergency well that we had used once before. It's in Lower Baxter, it's BG4. We used it 2 years ago when we had a drought situation. So whenever you start up a well like that, an emergency situation, the health department does require us to put out a boil water notice.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that the water was unsafe to drink or is unsafe to drink. It's just a requirement, and it's just on an abundance of caution. And we also did increase the amount of chlorine going in as well, again, as an abundance of caution to make sure that no one was going to have any ill effects from, anything from starting up
Mhm.
that emergency well. So that will stay in place until the health department deems everything all set. We're hoping within the next couple of days that we will have all of the Lower Baxter functioning, or we've passed the samples and everything that the health department will hopefully then relieve the boil water notice. Unfortunately, we don't have a great way, especially late on a Friday, to get the word out. So we did put it out on our website. Unfortunately, we don't have the manpower to get a flyer out to every door. So unfortunately, when it does get lifted, it's just gonna be out on the website again, and certainly there is a phone number on the boil water notice, and certainly you can call that. That's our H2O Innovations that runs and operates our water. That's the contact on there, but you also can call Village Hall with any questions regarding it. So we have Dutchess Delivery as a mechanism to get information out, but unfortunately with some changes that we made to our website's not talking with Dutchess County, and we haven't resolved that issue. So right now Dutchess Delivery is not working. We're hoping to have that up and running soon. So I think I've covered it. Did I miss anything?
I think you covered it all. The well that's operating now is hopefully gonna be actually up and running.
Hopefully, at least within a week, but we're hoping within a few days.
Right, this is all Lower Baxter, this is where
Yeah.
we put the new plant in, this is
Yeah,
all
we're
the work
about a
we've
week
been
out
doing.
from having the whole
Right.
Lower Baxter up and running. So we're so close that it's painful that we had to go through this. Jonathan, did I miss anything, or that kind of cover it?
No,
for now?
that covered it. You know, we're working with, you know, and staying in touch with Labella and there for assistance with whatever's needed for startup. And we're kind of, you know, it's their project, so they're providing the information. It's my understanding the electricians pretty much finalized all the final variable frequency drives that were installed to start the wells. And then they're supposed to start up the VFDs, I believe, Wednesday. And then we have to confirm that SCADA and control startup will be the same day. So as soon as we have additional information, we'll, you know, like I said, we'll stay in touch. And the plan is to get it going as soon as we can. And they did disinfect the other wells today so that the process can continue to move forward as rapid as possible to get that approved and online.
Thank you. And then the good part is, because we put that well on, we are now at 26 feet, 26 and a half?
Yeah. Let me just go to my text because I know it's been changing. I think
Yeah.
we're either 26 or 27 feet as of this
So
morning.
we certainly have gained since we put that well
Yep.
on, so we're trending in the right direction. So,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah.
26.7 feet this morning, so everything was looking
26.7.
good and we were feeding the tank. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And we're looking to get to 30?
Yeah, well, that's where we
Yeah,
normally
Right.
keep the tank. Yeah.
Yeah. I know someone's gonna probably ask, once we get to 30, we turn that well off, we're still gonna have to keep the boiled water because that water is in the tank, correct?
Yeah, so we're going to need to have further discussions with Department of Health because it's a little bit of a unique situation where these wells were pretty much approved to be placed in service and move forward, but Labella still, after the project is complete, they have to do what's called a 5025, which certifies the construction of the project. That goes in, since it's a funded project, to the state health department, not the county. So they have to approve that before everything goes into service. So due to that, you know, we are dealing with the county, you know, Friday and over the weekend to get this all approved to run BG4 as the emergency well. So those final pieces, I think it's really just a final startup that's needed since the wells were disinfected tonight, that we can move that piece forward. And then you have to do the bacteriological samples. You have to do 2 24 hours apart. Once we get those and they pass, then technically they can issue that completed works form to Department of Health to get the approval to place the rest of them in service.
But once the BAC-T samples come back, Jonathan, when do we get to lift? What Jerry was asking is, since we're filling the tank now under the boil water notice, so the water's sitting in that tank, we can't lift the boil water.
So that would have to come from our discussion with Jim Teed. We will likely have to touch base with him tomorrow to confirm if we get these. We did the first bacteriological sample today. We'll do the second one tomorrow because they got to be 24 hours apart. Yeah. So if they both pass, that's proving the water quality is, you know, essentially approved for service. We just have to confirm with him that that will allow us to run that emergency well without a boil water,
Okay.
which it should lift it,
Yes.
but I can't make that decision on
Okay.
behalf of
Right.
you.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't until we depleted, a certain amount of water out of the tank or something like that, but that's constantly.
No,
Yeah.
So if they may make you, I can't imagine they'd make you do them in the system, but they very well could. I would have to talk to them directly. It's a little unique because the whole point of chlorination that we have over there, so the wells have historically been tested and were proven not to be under the influence of surface water, under my understanding. So
Yes.
the only thing you're treating for over there is 4-log virus inactivation, and that's what your chlorine is added. And we are way overkill because the recommendation from Department of Health was to run a 2 part per million residual through the system out of Baxter Green, which we're running now at roughly 46 gallons a minute through a large chlorine contact time piping, which is 30-inch piping that was designed to handle over 200 gallons a minute. So there should be no issue with, we are way overkill in treating the virus removal requirements.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks again, Jonathan. I
No
know you
problem.
spent the whole weekend down here. I appreciate it. We all
And
did.
today,
And today.
and you'll be back
Absolutely.
Wednesday, so thank you, Jonathan.
Yep, yeah.
Does anybody else
Yeah,
have
not a
any
problem.
questions regarding it?
No.
Okay, all right. Jerry, did you have something before we move on to?
Yeah, Jonathan, while I have you on, I just wanted to talk a little bit. We've been having a water main leak on East Main for a few weeks now. Last week, the highway department and H2O went in, and John was down here for that for a couple of days as well. We thought we had a location on the leak. It turned out not to be the case. But while we were in there, because the pipe is down 10, 12 feet, we were able to install a new shutoff, basically, a new valve.
Yeah,
So now
provides better isolation,
isolation for when it does come time. We have another company coming down on Thursday, I believe,
yes.
with some better technology. So hopefully we'll be able to find where that leak is and we'll be able to tackle it.
Yep.
So in the meantime, there's a
Yep.
stop sign that a lot of people see on East Main Street at Coulter. For the time being, that's there temporarily, only because that intersection narrows down a little bit. We don't want people driving where we put the new valve in, because there's a lot of fiber optic, well, I don't know about fiber optic, but a lot of conduit with phone lines. And that we're just worried that the ground is still too soft right there. Any heavy truck might come over and damage the line. So if anyone was wondering why the stop sign's there, for now it's temporary. And hopefully once we get the leak fixed to get the road restored, we'll see how it goes from there.
But just to put it out there, that's always a little interesting intersection, I guess is how I put it. So the stop sign seems to be, people are adhering to it, and the feedback that we're getting is positive by having that stop sign there, so it may be something that we'll consider on a permanent basis. So we'll see how this goes, so.
Great.
All right, thank you. Jonathan, do you have anything else for engineers report?
Those are really the big ticket items. I know
Yeah.
we're still, have to talk and move forward on the lead service line inventory, which is just a matter of plugging in what we have for information at this stage. And that's due in October, so we still have some time. Obviously, the remainder of the little projects like flushing, until we get the water situation solved, we won't be able to move forward with any of those.
Right.
And then I know on the wastewater end too, I know Brian's still moving forward on the I&I study to get the flow meters back in when I was down, I believe, last week. So that's still in the monitoring stage, and we'll compile the report and definitely get that in before the end of the year. So those are the ones I can only go off by my memory right now. So if I forgot one, if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions.
We've had a lot going on, so I appreciate it. Does anybody have
That's
any
right.
questions for Jonathan? All right, so you're off the hook, Jonathan. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, sounds good.
Joe, do you have any attorney report?
Yeah, just a couple things. So first, on the 146 Main application, by the time that gets back to you for consideration of a potential zone text amendment, I'll have in front of all of you a kind of a breakdown of precisely what that involves and what its benefits or concerns may be, so that you can have some time before it even gets back to you to give that some thought. So I just want to let you know that that'll be coming, and you'll be well versed in it by the time the planning board gets done taking a look at the plan.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, most of you will be familiar with this because you also sit on the commission, but we did, for the benefit of the public, we did put in a formal notice to the town. The sewer commission issues the intermunicipal agreement, and what the commission and I think this board view as some potential breaches, frankly, of that IMA, which are hampering the ability of the sewer commission to do its business. And the town's attorney did get back to me and is suggesting a meeting. I asked a couple of preliminary questions prior to setting up a meeting. I have not reached back out to set anything up because that'll be largely at the will of the commission and the board and you, Lori. But I just want to, again, for the benefit of the public, just let people know that is, that we are continuing to pursue that, and I'll obviously do as directed as we try to get that resolved.
Thank you, Joe. Does anybody have any questions for Joe?
Nope.
No, I'm okay.
All right, thank you, Joe. Okay.
Yep.
So can I get a motion to pay the July bills in $940?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions,
No.
comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Anything else before? Okay. Being no public here, we can pass on public comment. What I'd like to do is then get a motion to go into executive session. Do we adjourn first? Oh, we didn't. All right, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So can I get a motion to go into executive session for litigation?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Which one?
The first one?
We don't even know.
You and then me.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Joe, so you'll hang up for now, and we'll give you a call when we get upstairs?
Yep, I'll be waiting.
Okay.
Okay.
Jonathan, you're good, yeah, you're good to go, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thanks. Have a nice night. You too. Bye.
I'm sitting in the back so people don't have to watch me sitting. Don't forget me.
We won't.
You have to come back.
Door service.
Thank you.
Door service with a smile. Come on, Jennifer.
No, they're not here.
Oh, okay.
But thanks.